I'm well, Mike. How are you? Well, yes. Yeah. Well, yes, I had this happened to me about 11 years ago. And like most people, the first reaction is denial and shock. You don't believe it's happening. Now, some people choose to just obediently do whatever the doctors tell them. Some are in denial and just go off and ignore everything. I think there's a middle road somewhere where you have to be heal yourself as well as having some assistance from the medical profession, but you have to be in control of the situation of yourself because it is you that caused this to yourself emotionally most of the times, I think, and as well by ingesting things that you shouldn't have, drinking things that you shouldn't have, or a general breakdown of your immunity system where you can't fight it. So you have to take control. The first thing is you got to have control, and you got to ask yourself, how did this happen? Figure out the spiritual causes of it as well, or else it would happen to everybody. It doesn't. So I think for me, it was a matter of looking at my options. What could I do to help myself? What the doctor said to me, I didn't do everything they said. I picked and chose what I felt was appropriate. I went along the path of herbs, Reiki healing, and a holistic kind of a way, because the doctors tend to just look at you at a bacteria, and all bacteria is the same to them. They don't acknowledge that every person is different and has a different reaction to a disease. So we are not a bacteria. We're human beings, and we have more parts to us than just a cancerous cell. So we are very important in our own healing process. And I advise everybody to look at what they have around in their area, the type of herbs that they have access to. What I find excellent would be the SAI herb that's from Canada and Australia. Anything basically that attacks the cell. Plus, people must also realize that prior to cancer, most patients have candida. So people should always check themselves out for candida as well, because it is the prelude to cancer. So attack candida before you get cancer. That is a must that I realized afterwards. So now I'm keeping that in control to stay healthy for the rest of my life. So try to prevent it by trying to heal yourself from candida. Then if it turns into cancer, you try and attack that with positive things in your body, with going alkaline, with eating foods that are green, with limiting the acid that you put in your body. Baking soda powder tends to balance your pH, so your blood becomes clean, so nothing bad thrives in there. You must go on an alkaline diet. Acid feeds cancer. So you can clear it out in that way. You must also find your emotional breakdown and clear that as well. It should be a balance of both. One or the other will just means there'll be a reoccurrence in the future. Now you don't want that, so you have to address your spiritual problem, and then it manifests in your body. So it's a dual process. Doctors don't acknowledge that we have a spiritual nature. As I said before, they think we're just bacteria, and we're not. We all react different. So each person has a journey to make with this disease, a self journey. Healing that is a part of healing yourself as well, not just the body, but the soul. And that will help you for the rest of your life. It's not an instant, there's no instant cure. Poison that the doctors and chemos that they give these days are much harsher, I believe, than when I went through it. I didn't do the after treatments. I did part of it. I didn't do everything they said. I picked and choose. I also got into Reiki to try and heal the cause of it. And then after that, it's a matter of keeping your body clean. Clean from acid. Everything must be alkaline. You must eat alkaline foods. If your blood has plenty of oxygen, it starves out the cancer. Cancer only needs, I've read, about 48 hours to be created in the body because it's starved of oxygen, which means, bad diet, stress, breaking down of the immunity. So, as I said, dual, your soul, your body, they're connected. Okay, so, and after that, you maintain a constant vigilance about staying healthy and balanced between the two, trying to stay spiritually positive and putting positive things in your body because they're related. The more negative you feel, the more negative things you tend to eat and say and think and feel, and everything just becomes polluted and contaminated. The whole planet becomes like that. So it's very important to have positive energy and faith in yourself and in the healing process. Our bodies have the ability to heal themselves. We need to help it, not hinder it. We need to help our bodies heal themselves. Well, they said, chop off everything, let's burn it, let's fill you up with poison and kill it. And that's all they know how to do, really. They don't really know what causes the disease. Well, I took control. This is why it's different for every person. I questioned everything they said to me, and I had as many doctors as I questioned. I got as many different answers, and I got more confused. So at the end of the day, I had to pick based on my conscience what I thought I should do. Every time you ask a doctor, you'll get 10 different opinions. You won't get the same thing. So they confused me more. If you stick to one doctor and you think it's like a priest and you sit there and you obey, I don't know, maybe your faith in that might help you. But ultimately, it's you having faith that helps you, not the doctor. The doctor's there just to assist. But they don't really assist in the healing process as a human being. As I said, they treat people like bacteria. Because they see so many people all the time, they say the same thing to everybody. But we are not all the same. We have different abilities, different responses, different immunities. So how can a doctor come up and say, you've got this much time to live? I don't get it. The moment they say this to somebody, it sticks in their mind, they believe it, and it happens. That's the power of the mind. Well, yeah, in America, I was in Australia at the time, and they told me things like, not directly to me because they weren't allowed to, but they insinuated certain things that I shouldn't do or should do, but they couldn't actually say it. All right, we got it, we took this away, but we can't tell you if it's anywhere else or if you're going to get it again. Like they really don't know. Yeah, I think I had a lot to do with my recovery and the way I dealt with it and the way I participated by having Reiki done, then doing the Reiki myself, changing my diet, having no negative thoughts that this was terminal or it was going to get me. It had a lot to do with me. I would listen to them, but I would not let that sink into my head. I would just listen like window shopping. And if they didn't sound logical to me, and if it wasn't necessary, I wouldn't do it. And I would actually contradict them and, say, no, I don't want that. I don't want you to totally chop me up and butcher me up, and I have to look at that for the rest of my life. Let's do a step at a time. Let's check out what it is. Then you come back, you tell me what it is, and then I'll give you permission to do if I want anything further. No, I think this disease is not lethal. We can help ourselves. Thank you, Mike.